What is up, guys? Welcome to another Behind the Curve Reacts. And today we've got a Patreon request. So huge thank you to my amazing patron, Morty. And Morty would like for me to take a look at Shrek the Musical, specifically their Tony performance, which, if you know me, I absolutely love Tony performances. I just feel like it's a great opportunity to really pull out all the stops and just really impress the general viewing audience, because theater, take us for good or bad, theater is kind of like elitist, at least in terms of all of the media, like movies, TV, music. You can experience all of these things essentially in your home. Meanwhile, Broadway theater, you've actually got to go to New York or see a touring company. So for the vast majority of us, the Tony Awards really is like the one time that we get to see a little snippet of these shows. So I think it's just a missed opportunity if you do like a really slow song or like a ballad, even though it might be beautiful. I just feel like Tony performances should be really showy. So that's really what I'm looking for here. I did react to something from Shrek the Musical a little bit ago. I think it was Freak Flag or Let Your Freak Flag Fly or something like that. And it was a lot of fun. It was really cool, but Shrek wasn't in it at all. And I found out later that it's actually Brian Darcy James that played Shrek, who is an incredible actor. He is a Smash alumni. He was in Hamilton. He's been in just a bunch of stuff. Great actor. So I'm really hoping that I get to see some of him in this. But either way, it's a Tony performance and it's Shrek. I wouldn't assume that it's going to be good, but the last one was surprisingly very well done. So I got high hopes. So thanks again, Morty, and let's go ahead and get into it.
Once upon a time, in a swamp on the outskirts of Duloc, we find Donkey, Fiona, and Shrek.
Oh my God, Donkey. I don't know how I forgot about Donkey.
Look, Princess, Lord Farquaad's castle.
It's a bit much, isn't it? Do you think he might be compensating for something? Oh, forget it.
So tell me about my groom-to-be, Lord Farquaad. What's he like?
Well, let me put it this way, Princess. Men of Farquaad's stature are in short supply.
Really?
Yeah, but he is a little intimidating.
Well, he must be.
And yet very good at small talk.
Because he's short.
What are you guys doing?
What you're saying, you might want to lower your expectations a bit.
Yeah, like 3 feet or so.
All right, you're obviously jealous that you'll never measure up to a great ruler like Lord Farquaad.
Oh,
God, is that
we'll
Sutton
let you do the
Foster?
measuring when you meet him.
Sutton Foster, Fiona?
Welcome to Duloc, such a perfect town. Here we have some rules, let us lay them down. Don't make waves, stay apart, and we'll get along. Duloc is a perfect place. Please keep off of the grass, shine your shoes like your face. Duloc is a perfect place.
That's cool. They took that, like, tiny little music box and do a number.
Oh, it's you! What a terrific surprise! Once upon a time, this place was infested. Freaks on every corner. I had them all arrested. Hey, nanny, 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 no. And so... things are looking up here in Duloc.
How are they doing the
Things I'm
legs?
cooking up here in Duloc.
He likes to cook.
A model that amazes, a plan with 7 phases. Things are looking up here in Duloc.
They're looking up.
In Duloc. Milk it from the gutter in Duloc.
He's taking aim.
Embrace the cookie cutter in Duloc.
Is he doing all of this on his
The upshot
knees?
is enormous when you can shout.
He's got it.
Yes, things are looking up here in Duloc. Hey, let's hear it for those Duloc dancers. Aren't they terrific? Ha! hard work and my rigor have made me so much bigger. Things are looking up. Things are looking up. Things are looking up here in Duloc. Here in Duloc. And no one's gonna bring me down.
Cool. Awesome. That was a great Tony performance, Shrek. It was big. There was so much going on. And, music does play like a big part in Shrek. It's not obviously not a musical, but when you think of that movie, I feel like one of the first things that comes to mind is All Star by Smash Mouth, like the opening song. It's very, very iconic. And I was trying to think of like what big like musical number, would there be? And of course it would be at Lord Farquaad's castle. Of course it would be. And like the tiny little wooden dolls in the movie that sing that first little opening to like completely, like anthropomorphize them and make them like the king's backup dancers. That's such a cool idea. And Brian was so funny as Shrek. Like his comedic timing was great. Like the almost like pseudo self-deprecating. It was like, forget it after a joke. Was very funny. The makeup was also really, really well done. I wasn't quite sure how they were going to do it and make it look not like incredibly cartoonish, but somehow they pulled it off. This is now 2 numbers where I really haven't seen Shrek like dance or sing or anything, so when that eventually happens, that'll be really cool. But I was definitely getting really strong like Nicholas Bottom vibes, the character that Brian Darcy James played in Something Rotten, just from like how he was delivering his lines. It was very deadpan, very dry, and I really like that kind of humor. Sutton Foster though as Fiona, that's really cool. Like just her and Brian, knowing that they play the 2 leads, this was a hell of a cast. Like, no wonder it got nominated for Best Musical this year. I think it lost out to Billy Elliot, if I'm not mistaken, in 2009. If I am, please let me know down in the comments. But that is great. I would love to see, like, hopefully there's a big Sutton tap number. Would be really cool. I just feel like she should tap in like everything that I see her in because she's so good at it. But yeah, I am excited for the eventual Shrek Fiona duet that I get to see just because it's 2 profoundly good Broadway actors. And Lord Farquaad, I don't think I recognized the person that played him. Very good voice, very cool, but I feel like when you watch that, the one thing you take away from it is that costume design. Like, it almost played a trick with your mind because you saw him and you're like, oh, okay, so he's clearly, on his knees and that's how he's doing his choreo, which is really, really cool. But then you saw, like, the character Lord Farquaad, those tiny legs, you saw those bend at the knee as well. And that just fooled my brain. It's like, well, if he's on his knees, then what is bending there for that? So I don't know how that costume design worked, but it looks awesome. And it actually gave me like kind of like SpongeBob vibes. If you guys ever saw the SpongeBob SquarePants musical, where Squidward had another really weird, really well done design for his like tentacle feet. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like the same costume designer that did Shrek and SpongeBob. I guess both because they're, cartoon properties, but also the Lord Farquaad, Squidward, at least in my mind, parallels between those 2 costumes. But the number, though, is so big. It was so fun. There was so much going on. I loved the King's backup dancers. They literally looked like they were like dolls. Like they looked like they were wearing like plastic outfits with plastic hair, just like super unreasonably rosy cheeks. Like this was really good. This was awesome. And for a Tony performance, for someone that doesn't get to New York to experience this would absolutely give me a reason to see Shrek next time the touring company comes to Minnesota. Like, without a doubt. Donkey, though, I I didn't really get to see a lot of Donkey, but I would love to see more. And like, it's really big shoes to fill. I mean, Eddie Murphy, well, really with this entire cast. I mean, you got Eddie Murphy, Mike Myers, John Lithgow as Lord Farquaad, Cameron Diaz, I believe, as Fiona. Like, these are all like legends in their own respect. So to do that, and like these people could actually come and watch your performance, you know, on stage, that has got to be quite nerve-wracking. But clearly they have the cast to do it. But I would totally see this show, yeah, if it came to Minnesota, just based on this and the last performance that I saw. I really got to stop having these reservations about shows where I'm like, oh god, a Shrek musical, that can't be good. Because I always, you know, get my mind changed. Because even though it might be like a kind of a ridiculous concept when you first think about it, there's so much talent in Broadway actors, Broadway composers, Broadway writers, Broadway choreographers, that regardless of what it is, it's going to be impressive. It is usually, at least from what I've seen, going to be pretty good. So yeah, thank you again, Morty, so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in a reaction very soon.